Okay, so now we're going to get into our second lesson, which is dealing with more of the hook punch and a couple different kicks. So last time we did jab cross, right? We did the teep and the front snap kick. Now we're going to get into hook punches. So I have my guard stance, my hands are up, my punch comes out, there's my jab, and it's going to go right in front of my nose. When I do my hook, it's going to go more in front of my shoulder. Okay, so I want to be a nice tight motion and then turn it. Now, it's really, really common when people do hooks, you get this big winding motion. Now that's what we're trying to avoid. If it's big and wide, very, very easy to see. Granted, it does have more power, but you leave more opportunity to get hit for yourself as well, and it takes a lot longer. So ideally, we're looking for that punch that's just off of the center line, and we're going to turn it. Now, big safety things here. My elbow is behind my wrist, and my wrist is always, always straight. And again, we're hitting with those two big knuckles on my punch. So I don't want to bend my wrist, I don't want my elbow down. Now the most common one is the elbow is down. People hook like this, the elbow down. Now we got to watch out for that because that does strain the shoulder. If you hit something, you're going to turn it back. Now the same thing goes for the right hand. I'm going to punch my cross, goes in front of my nose, while my hook is going to go over the shoulder and then turn. It's a nice tight punch. What we don't want, well, right now at least what we don't want, is a very long hook, and that's a different style of hook. So when we're punched really, really tight, it should be that we're close enough to hug somebody. So nice and close to the bag here, makes for a very nice tight hook. If I step away from the bag, I have to do a long hook, and long hooks are a little bit different. So we're just going to focus on the short ones right now, which means our target is right in front of us, very, very close. One more thing to think about, when I do my hook, my thumb faces me, not up. If I'm going to do a long hook, my thumb is going to face up. You know, you can do it when you're in close, but it's a little bit easier if your thumb is pointing to you. And later on, when we start adding elbows, we really only elbow one way, and that's with our thumb facing us. So it's a good habit to get into. Hook with your thumb facing you. Hook with your thumb facing you. Now there is one exception. If we're going to the body, I don't want my thumb facing me because it lifts my elbow above my wrist. So we want to keep thumb up on these body hooks, and that's going to keep my elbow right in line. So if I'm going body hook, nice and short, nice and close to me, you can see how close it is. Okay? Same thing, same thing. So nice hooks to the body and lots of rotation. So when we're hooking with the front hand, a little bit of rotation, just don't watch you don't turn too much. Rear hand, oh, that's where my power comes from, is that rotation. So elbows are in. Try to get away from this big scooping motion. And, you know, it's going to happen. It's very, very natural because that's your body's way of trying to get past the technique and use what you have available, your attributes. So swinging your arm. But as we get better, we can make it a lot more efficient. So hooks, that's a really important one. Now, getting on to the kicks. So roundhouse kick and cut kick. When I'm doing a roundhouse kick, got my nice bag here to hit. I want to stand in front of my bag, but with a foot on either side of the bag, whatever target I'm hitting. I don't want to stand here where both my feet are on one side. This can make for a very awkward kick for me. And same thing with this foot lined up at the middle of the bag. Doesn't really work very, very well. This is better. Now I can kick with either leg. So when we do our roundhouse kick, very, very easy. Have a good stance. Always start and end in a good stance. I want to turn my foot. And this is important so it takes the stress off my knee. Some people are a little bit more flexible and they can stand on this leg and kick without rotating. But it does stress your knee and your hip. So we want to make sure we turn that rotation. Now whether you turn by rotating on the ball of your foot or take a step doesn't matter for right now. In fact, actually taking a step is a little bit easier and it's a good habit for later for some stuff. So I have my stance, I step, knee comes up, and I kick the bag. So you can see it's a flicking kick, and this is a roundhouse kick. They're a lot more popular in karate and taekwondo. Now, this is still good, and you can see a couple differences here. I step to turn, chamber, extension, retraction, back to my stance. And you can kick a little bit higher too. Now, the trick is, it's going to be a lot of extension. This is where the muscle is and a little bit of balance. So that rotation is going to help my knee. And chamber, extension, retraction. Those are three important things on a roundhouse kick. Now you can see on a roundhouse kick, I'm hitting with the top of my foot right there. So it's got lots of reach. I got nice long legs, so I can use a roundhouse kick really, really well. So my range is going to be a lot better on a roundhouse kick. The trade-off is I have smaller bones in my foot. So if I do hit something hard, like an elbow, it's going to hurt a little bit. So we play with two different kinds of kicks. The other one is a cut kick. On a cut kick, same thing as a roundhouse kick. I want to turn that foot, whether we rotate or step. Still have my hands up. I'm still facing the bag the same way, but my knee is going to come across the bag. And you can see I'm a lot closer to the bag right now. Now this is going to see a lot more power in this kick. This is not a super heavy bag. It's about 60 pounds. The ones we have downstairs are 100 pounds. But this is still good to practice that kick. Now you see that roundhouse kick where I have to stand. It moves a little bit. To get a cut kick, I'm going to have to stand a little bit closer because now I'm hitting with my shin. So my hands are up. And there's my cut kick. So a lot of power in that cut kick. Where my roundhouse kick power is coming from that extension of my foot, the cut kick power is coming a little bit from momentum, me moving forward, but also me turning my hips so I have torque. And that's really, really important. So step and hit with my shin. Go. The shin bone is very, very strong, and this is really nice. It makes for a nice strong kick. What we want to try and do is get my knee past my target. Whereas on a roundhouse kick, I point my knee at what I want to hit. So when the bag's lined up right in front of me, I point and kick. On a cut kick, step in, knees past my target. So I'm going to have more of my shin in contact, so the range is going to be a little bit different. So you got your hook, nice and tight, not those big loopy ones. Okay, you have a roundhouse kick, point that knee, chamber extension or traction, and you have your cut kick. Step in, it's going to be a lot stronger of a kick on that cut kick. So practice these ones, nice and light. You can do them in the air. Practice low to the ground and build your way up. Because you can turn your hips easy to the ground, balance is easy. As you get higher up, you can challenge yourself a little bit. Okay? Have fun with those ones.